on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did.
You guys are driving around and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light and he happened to be hanging out the window. Once he got to reaching, I got to ducking.
Which of those four is it when you talked to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them, either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
After the release of the new Diddy documentary titled The Reckoning, the Tupac passing case was reopened by Las Vegas police with 2 new names added to the files. According to the evidence, it starts with Diddy, whose name was added after the documentary revealed Diddy wanted to be Tupac. The only way for it to happen was to get rid of him.
Tupac was a shining example of everything that Diddy wanted to be, and he was that naturally. He was charismatic, he was sought after, desired, he was very well liked and a naturally likable person. He was charming, he actually had intrinsic talent, he was a star. He was what Diddy tried to force his way into becoming. Diddy, through force, through manipulation, through fear-mongering, tried to become loved and adored and liked, but all he could manage is like a twisted clone of that he was able to garner through fear. But back to my original point, he thought he triumphed over Tupac by when actually what he did was make Tupac immortal. And by Diddy continuing to live and earn more wealth and, in his mind, earn more adoration, he thought he triumphed. He thought he won overall.
But more importantly is what 50 Cent said after the documentary's release. It's written. 50 Cent says it's not over. More unreleased Diddy footage that didn't make the Netflix documentary is coming to YouTube, including footage about how Diddy started a family with Tupac's ex-girlfriend. Diddy had a daughter named Chance Combs with Sarah Chapman in 2006, who famously dated Tupac in 1995. This got the attention of the Las Vegas police, where it was announced. The Las Vegas police made notes about 50 Cent's The Reckoning Diddy documentary, where never before heard evidence was shared about Diddy paying $1 million for Tupac's passing. Sources expect Diddy to be charged. This is what 50 Cent always wanted. He wanted to expose Diddy for what he's done over the years, and he called him out before the documentary reading. 50 Cent says he doesn't like Diddy because he got Tupac hit.
I hate when they leave me to talk because I always say the wrong thing. Last time they left me, I said something about Puffy. You saw that? Clip? Yeah! I gotta stop doing that kind of shit. I've been talking to a therapist to try to help me with the shit I'm saying. I said crazy shit for no reason. Oh wait, maybe I said it about Puffy because he got Tupac killed.
But with the documentary shining a light to everything Diddy's done over the years, it got new news to report. The reinvestigation of Tupac's passing is revealing new names and evidence of those involved. The new name is Suge Knight. What's interesting is that Eminem rapped about Suge being responsible for Tupac's passing over 20 years ago, which got leaked last year. As he said, "I'm holding Suge responsible for the passing of the 2 greatest rappers to ever grace the face of this planet. If only the late Christopher Wallace could talk, he could tell you himself. I'm holding Suge responsible for the passing of Ja Rule or anyone else down with the row." According to police records, it reports, Detective Russell Poole suspects that Knight arranged Tupac's passing before he could exit the label and framed the rival Blue team to throw off investigators. This raises the question of who a famous Blue member is that they would want to pin the crime on. As you quickly find out that Snoop Dogg had a very interesting relationship with Tupac only a couple days before he passed. Snoop admitted himself that he was supposed to be in the BMW on the night that Tupac got targeted.
With Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac, I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So
saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
Snoop claims because of last-minute changes he didn't go, which was due to Snoop and Tupac getting into an argument.
The last time me and Tupac was on the same page, and I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie, and I told her that I like their music and I want to do music with them. Bro didn't like that, Tupac didn't like that, so we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to, prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't.
It came down to Snoop being okay with Biggie and wanting to make music with him after the East Coast-West Coast rivalry started. But with Snoop leaving Tupac's side only a couple days before the incident, it makes you wonder if Snoop was behind it or at least knew about it. You have to remember he was tapped into the streets in the 90s before he became only a celebrity. He was in the Blue Team, and according to the documentary, over 40 Blue members knew that they were going after Tupac, as it wouldn't have been hard for Snoop to catch wind that they were targeting Tupac.
I say a week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York, and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave him. And when did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I like them. I want to do some music with them. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like tried to kill me, out at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with them. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked his music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. There's video footage of all of us hanging out.
Although the police are investigating Diddy in the crime, they started their evidence off by saying on November 18th, 1995, Tupac was photographed with Diddy's baby mama, Sarah Chapman. Diddy described Sarah as being the one. She's his dream girl, so when she got with Tupac, Diddy didn't like it. This was a common theme with Diddy, and his jealousy led him into trying to take out Tupac at a studio.
I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I could say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in their vision. I only got shot once because they found the book. The police found it, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work.
This first attempt was a failure for Diddy, but he would try again. But in court at the Diddy trial, it was announced. Former cop claims Diddy had Tupac dealt with for $1 million. Suge retaliated, having Biggie dealt with, as Diddy hired Blue Street member Keffe D to get Tupac. After 20 years of walking free, the feds finally had a separate charge to bring in Keffe D, which they used as leverage to get him into taking a proffer for the Tupac incident. Keffe D claims that Diddy was behind the hit.
On all 4 of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those 4 is it when you talk to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
This was followed by Diddy taking an interview, which led to this awkward moment of them asking if Diddy took out Tupac.
Now it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to even go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because you listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
It's up for speculation on if Keffe D told the truth, but there was no reason for him to lie. If anything, he was incentivized to tell the truth because if he didn't, then the deal would be taken away and he would have had to face the other charge. But what makes Tupac's life so interesting is that people believe he wasn't about the street life. The person who wrote a biography on Tupac claims that he couldn't defend himself and didn't know how to use a firearm.
Because he died because all these guys sold him this lifestyle idea, but he wasn't it. He couldn't fight. He had no athleticism. He didn't know how to shoot. He wasn't that guy, but he started to believe it.
He method acted it.
100% method acted it.
Although the police covered the day Tupac was targeted. On September 7th, 1996, Tupac was in Vegas with Suge Knight. They went to the MGM Grand to watch a Mike Tyson match, but once it was over, they spotted a rival Blue member named Orlando Anderson in the lobby, and Tupac went after him.
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson at the MGM Grand. Keffe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and 2 of their friends were also there. Keffe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and beat him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
This was the perfect motivation for Keffe D and his crew to finally do the crime to Tupac, since he was just in an altercation with Orlando. Tupac and Suge went to their hotel to change for the night, and they hopped in the BMW to head to a club. However, with the music playing loud and fans yelling Tupac's name as they drove by, Keffe D and his crew found Tupac and pulled up on him.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keffe D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
But what's insane is once Keffe D thought he couldn't be legally charged with something to do with Tupac's crime, he hopped on an interview and described how they pulled off the crime.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light. We was gonna go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
In a cheap attempt at saying it was in self-defense, he said that Tupac was pulling up a firearm first, but that was completely false because the police reported there was no firearm in the car.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out a...
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually...
No, once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
That's what happened.
started at Tupac and Suge.
But what's interesting is the police knew Keffe D was involved the whole time. On the night of the crime or shortly after Keffe D was taken into an interrogation and asked about the crime.
Lane starts. You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looked at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
in
of
the back seat or something.
Yeah. What do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando across Dre.
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window.
It's extremely weird to see how Keffe D literally was a prime suspect of having something to do with it, but he just got let off anyway. But Keffe D in the present day spoke on his emotions from what happened to Tupac.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog. I really do, man. Cause it took a lot of people's lives, dude. Hate that shit happen. Promise to God. I feel that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. It never happened, dude.
But files get weirder when you realize there's holes in the story which make people wonder if Tupac could still be alive. It initially sounds completely insane, but when you find out that Tupac was an industry plant, it's possible they could have pulled him out of the streets and faked his passing so people would stop targeting him. As an interview from a former officer claims Tupac was planted in the street to try stopping the beef between both sides.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Tupac Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the and the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this gangster type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
But what's very weird is an interview in 2010 from a rapper named Tretch. He used to be close friends with Tupac back in the day, but randomly this reporter put down his camera and asked him when he last saw Tupac. Rather than being surprised about the question and confused, he answered it like normal. But you'd think that Tretch would be at least confused on why a reporter is asking him about his friend who supposedly passed 14 years prior.
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question. Is Tupac still alive?
Nobody knows.
Y'all good? Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man.
We good. Last time I saw him, he was in church.
But 3 weeks later, a video showed up on a website which claimed Tupac was in a parking lot in Cuba.
Look, zoom in. That's Pac, man. He was the outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back is trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
This is what started the Tupac is alive in Cuba theory, and it only made more sense for him to be there when people realized his step-aunt had been living there too. But Suge Knight also believes Tupac is alive. He said it in multiple interviews over the years as he said, and I quote, "When I left that hospital, me and Tupac were laughing and joking. I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad."
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I would say this, Pac, you never know.
But police reports claim Tupac was in a deep sleep, which means he wouldn't have been able to talk to Suge. But in another interview 5 years apart, he claims it happened the same exact way, which makes you wonder if the people who were responsible for placing Tupac in the streets decided it was enough and pulled him out of the spotlight.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital, he was conscious in the ambulance, he was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
But what's concerning is Suge was targeted after he spoke about Tupac being alive, which made Suge Knight completely stop talking about Tupac because he thought he was targeted because of what he said. However, his son Suge Knight Jr. made the same mistake. He claimed Tupac was alive and in Malaysia, but a couple days later, he showed a text message which said, "You said too much, time for you to go." As this made him nervous and he would leak a bunch of pictures of Tupac with modern celebrities like 50 Cent and Beyonce. On the pic with Tupac and Beyonce, he captioned it, "He never left us, but they'll be after me soon." While some believe this was all a publicity stunt for Suge's son to gain clout, others believe that it was factual and Suge Jr. would be the one to know more about this case than anyone else in the world, considering his father was right there on the scene.